Welcome back to the channel. This is Holden from Classroom Camp. As you can see today, I don't have my normal setup, and that is because I'm in a different city. I'm planning to move, I'm searching for houses, and this morning I went to new hire orientation at a new school district because I'll be teaching at a new school this upcoming year. I'm very excited about that, but amidst all of that, I still wanted to bring you a little bit of education news, and today what I have for you is a cautionary tale about a teacher who is accused of injuring a student. Now, stories like these don't always surprise me because you hear about teacher misconduct and things of that nature all the time, but this one in particular stands out to me because of the nature of it. And I'm going to read a little bit of the story so you can understand the context, and then I'm going to just give a little bit of commentary. And hey, if you enjoy this video and this kind of content, please be sure to hit that like button before you leave and consider subscribing to the channel because you don't want to miss out on all the great education news that I have in store for you. So, the article that I am pulling from is on kltv.com, and the headline reads, "Former Tyler ISD teacher accused of hitting student with eraser." This was published on May 27th, 2025. It says that in Tyler, Texas, a former Tyler ISD teacher is accused of injuring a student by throwing an eraser at their forehead. According to an arrest document obtained by KLTV, former Caldwell Arts Academy teacher so-and-so, 25, admitted to picking up the 1-inch by 2-inch eraser and tossing it at the student in an attempt to get their attention. In an interview with a Tyler ISD police officer, she said it then bounced off a wall or chair before hitting the student in the head, the affidavit said. Killian told the officer she never meant to harm the student and immediately apologized to them after the incident. The student also told the officer they were talking loudly with another student and ignored Killian's request to stop talking. They said she then chunked the eraser towards them without warning, leaving a spot that feels bruised, the document said. The student said the teacher laughed at the incident and did not apologize. All right. So, here we have a case where you have a couple of students that are acting up in class, they're talking, and a teacher throws an eraser to try and get their attention. It bounces off the wall and hits a student in the head. The teacher laughed at it and didn't apologize. And what also is revealed in this article is that this is not an uncommon occurrence. The teacher had some squishy balls in her classroom, you know, those little stress balls. I have some in my classroom, but she would use those sometimes and throw them to get students' attention. And after all this went down, this teacher was arrested, was booked into the county jail, and was released that same day. But this is a whole legal matter over something that could have been simply addressed in the classroom. This is a cautionary tale to teachers out there. Because yes, you know, you have a squishy ball in your classroom and maybe you throw it or something, next to a student to get their attention or near them to kind of get them to stop doing whatever they're doing. But you see where this led. You see that even if it started out as a squishy ball and maybe the intention was not malicious in nature and the teacher did not mean to harm anyone, it got to a point where it seems to me that this became a habit of throwing things at students to the point that she then picked up an eraser. And in my mind, because the article says it was a 1-inch by 2-inch, I'm thinking like those little pink erasers. In my mind, she took that and threw it. It bounced off the wall and hit a student. And there was a little mark on their head. Truly, how much can that hurt? How much damage can be done with something like that? But that's actually beside the point. Because as teachers, we cannot get in the habit of doing things like this, throwing things at students. This is not professional behavior at all. You should never throw something at a student. There was another story that I talked about on TikTok about, excuse me, a teacher who spanked a student with a yardstick in a district where corporal punishment is not approved. And that teacher got in trouble. You got to be professional as a teacher. You have to avoid these kinds of things because you never know, especially dealing with children, when something that you might see as playful in nature, students take it the wrong way and turn on you. Your perspective and the way you see things and your intentions, unfortunately, don't always matter. And I've heard of teachers doing similar things. You know, some teachers, for example, they may drop a book. If students are sleeping in class, they may drop a book or drop something that's going to make a sound to scare students, to wake them up, you know, kind of make an example out of them in a way. But you have to be careful because, like I said, in the end of all this, this teacher is arrested for this incident. It's crazy that you get arrested for throwing an eraser, a small eraser at that. It bounces off a wall, hits a student in the head, and now you're being accused of injuring a student. You could have avoided this by just conducting yourself as a professional at all times. So what I want to say here is exactly that teachers, you need to make sure that this might be a moment to reflect on some of your practices in the classroom, some of the things that you are doing. Are you considering the implications of maybe some of what you deem as harmless acts? Because, again, as I said, you never know when someone will take something the wrong way, someone will get the wrong impression, you will overstep a boundary, and you will do something that can inevitably damage or even ruin your career. So I want you all to consider that. And before you leave, hey, what do you think about this story? Do you think that the teacher should have been arrested over this? Is it worthy of an arrest? Let me know down in the comment section. Also, have you seen anything like this happen during your career as a teacher, or if you're an onlooker, a parent, enthusiast who is familiar with teachers and drama at school? Have you seen anything? Definitely tell your stories down in the comment section. And don't forget, if you enjoy this content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. That's all I have for you in this video. See ya in the next one.